Afternoon, everyone. So good to be with you again. And this month we've been talking about the anointing, and it's exciting. And I hope you are also growing in that which the Lord has blessed you with. For every one of us who has given their life to Christ is anointed because Christ is in us. And like Paul would say, that Christ in us is the hope of glory, the anointed one in us. And we're looking at the fact that the anointing on our lives has two basic functions: the anointing for living and the anointing for doing. And it's important that we recognize that one serves the other. And the anointing for living, which is your private anointing, is very necessary to keep you doing uh, life with God and also becoming the son or the daughter of the Most High that walks according to his will and his counsel. Now, I want us to read this afternoon from the book of Judges, Judges chapter number 16, and two verses from 16 to 17. And it came to pass when she pestered him daily with her words and pressed him so that his soul was vexed to death, that he told her all his heart. And she said to her, no razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. Now, this is the story of Samson and Delilah. And Delilah is being put under tremendous pressure from her people, the Philistines, to get to Samson to find out what the secret of his strength was. And she did pester him, according to the text, daily, and pressed him till his soul was vexed to death. Meaning she didn't relent, meaning she was going all out to make sure she could get into what became the, the very source of his power. And I like how the text talks about he spoke to her all his heart. This was something that was kept, this was something that he held dear in his heart. And I want us to understand that the secret to your anointing, the secret to that which keeps you going, is something that must not only be known, but must be kept dear. All right. And what the enemy sometimes does is that he would get you out of sync with the things that make for your anointing to be uh, intact, the things that make for your anointing to be growing, the things that also make for the anointing to be resident. Now, the difference in the anointings is that the personal anointing, or the anointing for private life or living, does not go away. It's with you. But as to whether it's functioning in its fullness, it's up to us. The second anointing is for doing, and it comes and it goes. So, for example, if you're called into any area of ministry, office, public life, the anointing to function in that capacity, it's not on you 24/7. I believe later we'll talk about it, but some of you need to connect with us on Sundays to hear more of the the differences and the more detail of what we're talking about. And I believe on Sunday we're going to be talking about the anointing for doing. All right. So now with Samson, he didn't recognize that the private and the public work in tandem. What he said to Delilah was simply, I've been a Nazarite from my mother's womb. And in case of Samson, his dedication started from the dedication the parents underwent to bring him to where he was. And when he also was born, there were certain things that he was not allowed to do, which included the cutting of the hair. Now, the cutting of the hair was the public display of that which was secret. All right. And I want to say to every one of us, you have a private engagement and you have a public engagement that keeps your anointing going. So I want every one of you to be aware of that. I had a conversation with someone who was saying that her giftings would not function if she had aught with certain people who were close to her in her life. And for example, if she took offense and would not engage with the people, her anointing to function in her gifting would be cut off. This was an example of Samson's hair being cut off and him not even realizing that the power of God had left him. The reason being that you don't necessarily feel it on a day to day basis because that anointing for doing things publicly visits you when you have the assignment or the issue that needs to be tackled. All right. And you must be careful to make sure that you are aware of what fuels your private and what fuels your public. And the two work in tandem. So tonight, to this afternoon, tomorrow, I want every one of us, as you mail through life, you want to be aware that you have a consecration to keep. You have something from God which is holy and that must be kept serious. Your times with Him, your times of devotion, your routines of devotion become your connection and enables the growing of this anointing over your life. Therefore, today I bless you with this understanding that you will rise up and connect with that which the Lord has blessed you with. And for every assignment that the Lord has given you publicly, there is also an anointing that comes upon you to get that job done. Keep both anointings growing and going forward. And may the Lord preserve you. Let the anointing also teach you. Let the anointing instruct you, like John taught us, that this anointing we have teaches us. And may the blessings of the Lord keep you. And as you walk with Him, may this week be an extraordinary week of one that walks the streets anointed and doing exploits. May the Lord keep you and watch over you. In Jesus'